Hey guys, I'm Winter, and this is a video where I try to beat a hardcore Nuzlocke of Pokemon HeartGold. Before moving on, I want first of all to thank each and every one of you for watching, subscribing, liking, and leaving your feedback on my videos. I am really grateful, and this encourages me to make even more in the coming days. For those unfamiliar with Nuzlocke rules, you can only catch the first encounter per route or area. If it's a dupe, then I'm allowed to reroll until I find one that I haven't got yet. I must nickname every Pokemon that I catch to form stronger bonds. If a Pokemon dies, then I won't be able to use it again. I cannot use any item in battle, but I'm allowed to use held ones. The game should be played on set mode, and I mustn't overlevel my team past the next gym leader or Elite 4 member. Lastly, I added one additional rule, which is if a Pokemon of a certain type dies, then I'm not allowed to use that type again. If it's a Pokemon with dual typing, in that case, only the primary type gets eliminated. For example, if a Gyarados dies, then I'm not allowed to use water Pokemons anymore. I hope you guys relax and enjoy the run. If you do, please like and subscribe. Also, leave a comment if you have a suggestion, advice or any type of feedback, positive or negative. I read all comments and will be happy to hear from you. Our journey begins, and our trainer ID will determine which starter we will be using. If the last digit is between 1 and 3, then I must choose Chikorita. If it is 4 to 6, Cinder Quill, and if it's 7 to 9, then I'll be using Totodile. If it's 0, it's a free choice. The last digit is number 4, so we will be picking Cinder Quill. I'll let you guess the theme of the nicknames, although I don't think it'll be difficult to guess. I nicknamed him Mars. Mars has a brave nature, plus attack, mind, speed, and blaze. We headed to Mr. Pokemon's house, chilling with Prof. Oak, and gave us a mystery egg to deliver to Prof. Elm in order to examine it. I then received the Pokédex from Oak. Upon leaving the house, Prof. Elm calls and asks me to come back immediately. On our way back, we met a red-haired little guy who wanted a fight. He has a Totodile, but it didn't last much as he fell to 3 tackles. He dropped his trainer card so I could take a peek at his name. Back to the lab, that stupid police officer accused me of stealing the Pokemon. Thankfully, Lara was there to defend me and says that the red-haired boy from before was the culprit. And it turned out that his name is Summer. It's funny how both our names are antonyms. I handed the egg to the professor and left to officially start our journey. Our first team member will be Rattata, caught on Route 29. I named him Pluto. At Route 46, I managed to catch a Geodude that I called Mercury and will be a strong addition to the team, especially for the early parts of the game. In Route 30, we met a Spinarak that Mars accidentally killed. Well, not that big of a loss. And in Dark Cave, we added Zubat to the team. His name is Pulsar. Shortly after, we came across a pair of leaves with legs in Route 32 and I named her Earth. Our next encounter is this ball of gas caught in Sprout Tower that we named Black Hole. We've already had a team of 6 before even the first gym. On the top floor, we met Summer bragging about how strong he is. The elder here asks for a challenge to check the ties between me and my mons. His best part is a one-shot with Amber. Hoothoot puts Mars to sleep, so I switched into Mercury who took it down with her rock throw, and then switched back to Mars to finish the second Bellsprout. Upon defeat, the elder handed us Flash. Next is Falkner, but Mercury makes quick work of his team composed of 2 birds who quickly fall to a handful of rock throws. Here in the shop, we met an assistant of Prof. Elm who gave us a Pokemon egg. There is a kimono girl outside who's curious about the egg, asking me to take good care of it, so I gave her my word and then moved on. Mars evolved into Aquilava at level 14. Our next encounter is a yellow mouse, no, not Pikachu, that I called Ceres. I met Kurt in Azalea Town who tells us that Team Rocket is back and is seizing control of the well. He also tells us that they are involved in criminal activities. They also carrying Slowpoke tails for sale. We both head towards the well. Inside, we caught ourselves a redfish named Neptune. After dealing with the grunts, we faced Proton, a Rocket executive. We both lead off with Zubat, but mine emerged victorious after a long fight. Next is Coffin, but Mercury the Geodude quickly finishes him. Once defeated, Team Rocket vanished for now, and the entrance to the gym is cleared. The mysterious egg hatched, and it contained the Togepi that I nicknamed Venus. We moved to the gym and challenged Boxy, and it shouldn't be very difficult to deal with thanks to Geodude. Boxy led with Scyther and decided it was time for some next level plays by using Leer and Focus Energy. He fell to 2 rock throws. Metapod and Kakuna were next, but both Cocoons couldn't deal with some rock throwing and eventually died. 2 badges, 6 more to go. Before moving to Goldenrod City, we faced Summer once again. His team got improved and has now a Ghastly who goes for Curse, and due to his natural low defense goes down to 1 rock throw. His Totodile evolved into Crocodile, Earth put him to sleep and started whipping the Crocodile to death. Zubat is last, so I called for Mercury, who was able to one-shot the bat with Rock Throw. After his defeat, he publicly admits how much he hates Team Rocket and how weak they are and then just leaves. In Ilek Forest, Andromeda the oldest joins the team, but will be kept in the PC for now. Round 34 was where we caught a Drowsy that I nicknamed Jupiter. Upon arriving to Goldenrod City, we head straight to the gym where we faced Whitney. I immediately went for Rock Polish for a speed boost, her Clefairy used Metronome, and among all attacks it landed on Lunar Dance, which brought her down instantly. Her Cow comes next, and a couple of Rock Smashes combined with Magnitude easily take her mid-tank down, Badge 3 safe and sound. In round 35, we caught a male Nidoran, which will be a crucial part of our team later, and I called him Saturn and has Rivalry. Pulsar evolved into Golbat at level 22, and shortly after, evolved into Crobat. We reach Ecotric City, and inside the Kimono Theater, one of the girls is being sexually harassed by a grunt. We hate perverts, so we kicked his butt. An old man thanks us and gives us Surf, and we got HM Strength from a guy near Mount Mortar to the east. Saturn evolved into Nidorino, and in round 38, we managed to get a Magnemite that we nicknamed Supernova. We moved back to Ecotric City and entered the Burn Tower where we meet Morty and Yuzin, a researcher training Suicune. In here, we faced Summer one more time. Pulsar the Crobat beat the ball of gas to death. Mercury took down the Magnemite with the Magnitude, and Crobat easily finished the Crocodile with some wing attacks. 2 more wing attacks were enough to bring his Zubat down. Ashamed by the defeat, he runs away and disappears. In the next room, and as soon as I approach the legendary beasts, they awaken and then run off. Mercury reached 25 and revolved into Graveler. With Morty back in the gym, we are now able to challenge him. Morty has a team of Ghastly, 2 Hunters and Gengar. Crobat easily swaps through his entire team with a bunch of bites, and after the battle, he rewarded me with the 3rd badge and TM Shadow Ball. Once we arrive to Olivine City, Summer outrageously storms out of the gym, mentioning that the leader is looking after a sick Pokemon in the lighthouse. Turns out it was the Ampharos illuminating the harbor with his tail. Neptune finally reached level 20 and evolved into Gyarados, and Supernova into Magneton at level 30. We arrived at Cyanwood City, where the weather here is sunny and it's an amazing destination for those who come for a swim. Here, we came across Suicune once again, and Yuzin, who shows up shortly after, challenges me to a battle as he aims for Suicune's respect. Yuzin isn't that big of a threat, as his Drowsy and Hunter go down to a few bites from Neptune, and Electrode quickly falls to Magnitude. Chuck is meditating under a waterfall inside his gym, but I interrupted his training and asked for a battle, which he accepts. A single wing attack was enough for his enraged monkey, thanks to a crit. His Poliwrath managed to paralyze Pulsar the Crobat with Body Slam, who managed to deal some damage before being switched into Magneton, who finished the job with a few Thunder Shocks, bringing us an easy victory and badge number 5. Outside, a lady gently gives me HM Fly. The next 2 gyms have their aces at level 34 and 35 respectively, so I need to be very careful not to overlevel my team. Mahogany Gym is blocked for now. I caught this yellow sheep in route 43 and named him Milky Way, and went on to defeat the red Gyarados in the Lake of Rage. I crossed paths with Lance, who asked for some help in some investigation he's carrying. This guy is mad for real. He literally ordered his Dragonite to fire off a Hyper Beam into a man. Inside, there's a rocket hideout, and here I managed to defeat all the grants, picked up the items on the floor and proceeded to the next floor. After getting the 2 passwords, we headed into the office where we face Executive Petrol. Mars made quick work of his entire team with a handful of Flame Wheel. After the battle, Marco escapes and we followed him into the next room, where he mimics Petrol's voice, unlocking the door with the voice recognition system. Executive Ariana and the random grant suddenly appear, and as I was outnumbered, Lance comes in and joins for a tag battle. Gyarados and Dragonite quickly finish their team, with his Dragonite being stupidly overleveled. It appeared that the odd radio signals are coming from a machine connected to the electrodes in here. Graveler swiftly managed to make them faint. In return of the favor, he handed us HM Whirlpool. With the gym clear, we can now challenge Bryce, who leads off with the Seal. Seal quickly goes down to a few Thunder Shocks from Supernova, and next is Piloswine. I switch into Neptune, who knocks him out with 3 Surf, after a Citrus Berry recovery, easily tanking his Blizzard. His last Pokemon is a Dugong, and I call for Supernova once again. A combination of Thunder Wave and a couple Thunder Shocks safely secured us the 6th badge. Back in Olivine City, I climbed to the top of the lighthouse, where I handed Jasmine the secret potion, which instantly healed the Ampharos, allowing her to return to her gym. Inside, we challenged her, but this battle was a joke. At level 35, which is the level cap, Mars learned Lava Plume, an 80 base power fire special move. This was enough to sweep her entire team without taking much damage, and that's badge number 7. As soon as we left the gym, Prof M calls and shared with us what he heard from the news. Apparently, Team Rocket is back, which he cannot believe. I head back to Goldenrod City and talk to Bill, who gave me an EV to take care of. I named him UI Scooty. In the radio tower, I disguised as a Rocket Grunt in order to have a granted access to the upper floors, but Summers appears and ruins our plan. Now we'll have to fight the entire Team Rocket because of that jerk. The Grunt gets his ass kicked properly, allowing my Quilava to evolve into Typhlosion at level 36. We met once again with Petrol. He has a team of 5 Cuffings and Whizzing. I guess he's playing a mono poison Nuzlocke without Dupe's Claws. His entire team couldn't do much as I led with Supernova the Magneton. All they did was going for tackles that did almost no damage. Upon defeat, we got the basement key and Petrol has to reset his game because he just lost his entire team. A kimono girl inside the underground tunnel shows her appreciation and talks to us about legendary Pokemon, but then catches herself and leaves before revealing too much. We head into the warehouse where the red-haired is seeking revenge over his last defeat. He has a Golbat now, but he got knocked out by a few Thunder Shocks from Magneton. Feraligatr is next, but couldn't resist the electric attacks and so goes down. A Hunter comes after, but a bell from Neptune was enough to one-shot him. Magnemite can't survive a Flame Wheel from us, and neither could Sneasel. After sweeping through the grunts once again, we met the director who gives me the code key, allowing me to proceed in the radio tower. After beating Proton that I forgot to record, and Ariana, we finally met with Archer, who serves as Team Rocket's current leader, replacing Giovanni. Archer leads the battle with his Houndour, who got wrecked by his Surf. Houndoom survived a Surf and fired off a strong bite. A Sludge Bomb from Pulsar knocked him out. His last Pokemon is Coughing, and I switch into Mars the Typhlosion, who easily takes him down with a couple fire attacks. Defeating Archer resulted in disbanding Team Rocket once and for all, or so we thought. The director thanks us for saving his tower and gives me a Rainbow Wing. Also, the EV I got earlier from Bill evolved into Espeon. Inside the Ice Path, I caught a Swinub that I nicknamed Uranus, no puns intended. With that, we can move to Blackstone City, home of the 8th and last badge, and then head to take on Claire. Claire leads with her Gyarados, but Magneton finishes him off with Discharge. She then calls for her 2 Dragonairs back to back, and I switch into Gyarados who eats a Fire Blast, and then got paralyzed with Thunder Wave before tanking a Dragon Pulse. A few Ice Fangs took her first Blue Serpent down, and the second one follows with a couple Ice Fangs a few seconds later. Her ace is Kindra, and she's scary. I switch into Crobat, who managed to tank Dragon Pulse, then go for Sludge Bomb, which instantly poisoned her. Kingdra then used Smokescreen, as I missed the next Sludge Bomb, and she missed her Hyper Beam as well, thankfully. Her Hydro Pump connects and took Pulsar down to 23 HP, but luckily I had Roost, so it helped recovering all her HP back. Claire then used the Full Restore, which fully healed her dragon, and just used a combination of Smokescreen and Hydro Pumps. Fortunately, Pulsar emerged victorious with a few Sludge Bombs that connect, even with the accuracy drop, winning us the 8th badge, or so I thought. Claire refuses to accept her defeat. She claims I'm way too young and still not ready for the Pokemon League. Instead, she directs me to take the Dragon Challenge. After passing the test, she still couldn't believe. Dragon Master then steps in and orders her to accept her defeat, and that's when she awards me with her badge. Damn, Claire, I just wanna say that you're such a pain in the butt. Prof M calls, gives us the Master Ball, and mentions that the Kimono Girls were looking for me, so we fly to Ecotric City. We took on the 5 Kimono Sisters, each one of them has an evolution of her own. Defeating the 5 sisters grant me the Clear Bear, which allows me to summon the Ho-Oh that I intentionally killed. In Tojo Falls, I grabbed the Moonstone, which allowed me to finally evolve Nidorino into the powerful Nidoking. Near the exit of the Victory Road, Summer ambushes us and battles us. He now has a full team of 6 and leads with Sneasel. Sneasel got roasted by Flamethrower from Mars. Feraligatr is next, so I switched to Supernova, who bravely tanked 2 waterfalls and knocks the alligator out with a discharge. Good job, Triple Magnet. Now comes Hunter, and Crobat took it down with a fly after he sets up Curse on her. He then chose Kadabra, who dealt some damage with Psybeam, and sets a Reflect up before going down to Flame Wheel Swift combination. Golbat comes in, but it's a 2-shot with Flamethrower, and lastly is Magneton, and he got annihilated by Flamethrower. Before moving to the Indigo Plateau, I did some grinding with my Pokemons to reach the level cap once again. And here's how our team looks like. Supernova the Magneton, Mars the Typhlosion, UI Scooty the Espeon, Pulsar the Crobat, Saturn the Nidoking, and Neptune the Gyarados. Our first opponent is the Psychic Specialist Will, who leads with the Xatu, who got eradicated with Discharge. Jinx is next, and survived the Discharge before going down to Magnet Ball. Now come Executor, so I switch into Typhlosion, who one-shot the Coconut Tree with Flamethrower, before going back into Supernova to take the Slowbro and Xatu down with a couple Dischargers. We can now move to the second room, where Koga awaits. Koga still uses Poison types and leads with Ariados. Espeon quickly finished Ariados off with Psybeam before letting his place to Mars, setting up the Sun, and then annihilating Fortress with a 4x super effective Sun-boosted Flamethrower. He then went on and cleanly crushed his entire team with Flamethrowers. Our next challenge is Bruno, and we will see if he is still as a joke as before. He leads with Hitmontop, but the stupid AI goes for counter while I use the Psybeam. 2 more took him down after the full restore. Onyx falls to a Shadow Ball followed by a Psybeam, and Machamp succeeded in dealing some damage with Rock Slide. As Espeon was going down on HP, I decided to switch to Pulsar the Crobat, who managed to finish the job easily by taking out the Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan with a single fly each. Well, it turned out that Bruno is still a joke. We follow with Karen, who focuses mainly on dark types. Her lead is Umbreon, and we missed Metal Sound as he just spammed Double Team to increase his evasiveness. The second Metal Sound connects, sharply lowering Umbreon's special defense. I then switched into Discharge, who paralyzed him, but unfortunately paralyzed me back due to his Synchronize ability. One more Discharge and that's a dead Umbreon. She called for Houndoom and it was time for Neptune to come out. I set up 2 Dragon Dances while she sets up 2 nasty plots. From here, it was a clean sweep as Gyarados managed to one-shot her entire team with either Aqua Tail or Ice Fang. Now that we dealt with the 4 elite members, we're clear to take on the champion Lance. Lance has an insanely overpowered team and on top of that leads with Gyarados, who instantly cuts out my attack. Luckily, he has no super effective moves against my Neptune, so this was my chance to set up a few Dragon Dances. After 4 stocks, we landed on Ice Fang, but it didn't even one-shot the Gyarados, but fortunately, we survived one last Dragon Pulse before finishing him. From here, Neptune literally slaughtered Lance's entire supposedly Dragon teams with a combination of Aqua Tails and Ice Fangs. Defeating Lance earns us the champion title and unlocks the path to the Kanto region in order to earn 8 more badges and ensure our supremacy. This run was such a joke, especially the Elite Four and the champion. This only shows how easy the vanilla games could be even without overleveling, and we didn't even have the chance to experience the type death additional rule. If you guys would like to see the Kanto run in a video part, please let me know in the comments below. I can also use a different team from this one for the Kanto challenge. Thanks again for watching, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.